So I was with the Hispanics, so I was Spanish speaking, and so I think it's maybe a little bit different than the English, but in the Houston area, there's a Houston Spanish stake, and so the church is really strong there among the Hispanics. My ward, I think, was pretty good size. I was in a ward for the first year and then in a branch for the last 5 months. So between those two, I would say the ward was definitely stronger. There's more member participation, and the branch was a lot more difficult to get member participation in the work. So it was Houston South, and so it only had a little bit of Houston, well, part of Houston, and then it went down to Galveston, down all the way down 2 hours south to Port Lavaca. And so there was a wide range of cities. There was like downtown city type, and then there were farms and country, and then more like beach. It had everything really, but I only served in 2 areas on my mission. And so I was in Houston area for about a year, and then I was moved a little bit out of the city into a more rural area called Kima. And that was more kind of like farms, but and it was also by the coast. I was in the same ward the entire time, but they changed my boundaries after about 7 months. And so with that boundary change, they also changed my apartment. So that helped me, I think, stay sane because I had 2 different apartments and kind of 2 different areas because of the boundary changes. So I had a little bit of Spanish experience before the mission. I had studied it and was like trying to learn it on my own. And in MTC, I felt like I got a pretty good basic understanding of Spanish. But when I got to the fields, I realized that like the Spanish they spoke was a lot different than the Spanish that I heard in MTC, because most of the teachers were Americans speaking Spanish. And the Hispanic Spanish was more slurred, more, faster. And also Houston is different because it has Hispanics from all over the world. It's like very diverse. And so there were Guatemalans, people from El Salvador, from Honduras and Mexico, all of these places. And so there were lots of different accents too, to try to understand. So I would understand one person and think that I got it pretty well, and then I'd meet someone new and not understand their Spanish very well. So I tried to keep a pretty, I think, generic Spanish, but I think I did pick up a little bit from each country, a little bit different vocabulary.